Welcome to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and way to go, Justin Fields! Lock that draft position in, baby! I'm just joking. I'm joking, but I will say I'm happy that look, this is weird, and I already talked about this last week, and so feel free if you want to get mad, that's fine, I don't really care. It's a weird position to be in to want good draft position, but also want to see your team get better and all that. I've seen enough from this team all year. There's nothing for me where I'm like, I need to figure out something about the staff or the roster. Like, I know exactly what we are. And so for me, I personally don't care because the race is so tight. As I said before, this year is not about a lot of good teams. This is about a lot of bad teams. And so the draft order is super tight right now. And if we were to win, we really could have went way back in the draft position. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know the draft class yet. And so you can find good players. But our ability to fight through adversity and our hunger to win has already been proven. I didn't need to see a win today to prove that. But I did like what Justin Fields and the Bears ended up doing. I actually really liked it because you had Justin Fields obviously with some injuries, and I think Justin Fields himself and the Bears really changed the approach. And you took the opportunity, even though we went against some terrible defenses prior, we took the opportunity against a defense that we know has been really broken this year to try to look at what Justin Fields could be as far as a drop back passing game. And throughout the game, neither Aaron Rodgers or Fields had pressure pretty much all day. Like, the pass rush was so non-existent. And so Justin Fields had time to throw without worry of being hurried or being hit. And as we've seen, Justin Fields takes too long to read the field anyway, so he needs that extra time. They started off kind of in a good flow with a lot of one-read things. And, there's people that are going to take any completion and be like, see, look at this. No, that was a lot of one-read plays this whole game. A lot of, okay, go right to this person. And then throughout the game as we went on, there was some times where, again, he just didn't have pressure, so he had time to go through his read, and he made a good play. So I liked it. I mean, it wasn't perfect. I didn't expect, Justin Fields to look like a different person. Hence, the end of the game, there was no pressure there. Like, he had time to make a choice. He made a choice, and it was wrong. And let me also, I forgot to say, Mark Schlereth, or however you pronounce his name, I like him on, the show's analyst and all that, but as a commentator, he's trash, bro. This man, was just saying stuff that didn't make sense, but also he was slurping up Justin Fields like I've never heard before. And it's kind of like when people like Collinsworth and Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's another quarterback, but I never really catch that when he's on. But this with Mark Schlereth, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, there was a couple plays, like I said, one read. It was one read, like that one play to Komet. I think it was Komet. It was a rub route the whole way. Like, both receivers came in, weren't even running routes. They basically was blocking. It was a rub route the whole way. And that's the maturation of Justin Fields, taking that check down, taking what the defense gives him. I'm like, what are you talking about? That wasn't a check down. But anyway, he was doing that all game. But outside of that, like I said, I like that. I like that. I'm sure they talked to Fields and they were on the same page. He took the mentality of, I'm not going to take off every time. I'm going to challenge myself to be in the pocket and to read the field and make a decision. And this was a good week, like I said, because A, the Packers are playing horrible, so they're not going to be aggressive. But B, they don't have Rashawn Gary. They don't really have any pass rush. So this was a good week for him to sit in the pocket and not worry about, an immediate pass rush. And then let the run game complement him and all that. And they still did some things in that first series or two. I don't know if he got hurt, but they completely stopped. And so, but yeah, I like to get a chance to see, okay, what is it he can do with that. Now, as I said, there's still some bad things. I mean, I really didn't see anything that I haven't seen before in terms of being able to read the field, in terms of getting from the options, in terms of the footwork in the pocket and all that. But he remains such a threat that he allows the defense to either, commit to him as a runner or try to play coverage. A lot of times they commit to him as a runner, makes it a little easier. But yeah, overall, I just enjoyed that. Now, the fact that we lost is kind of icing on the cake. I'm not going to lie to you. But Justin Fields wrapped it up. And another thing, like Slur talking about he blames the receiver on that first interception. That's absolutely ridiculous. You see how long, first of all, do you see how long it took for him to throw that ball? You watch the play in real time. Alexander broke on the ball, undercut, ran in front of him, and was standing in front of him when he threw the ball. Yes, the receiver could have, fought back to it, but he was beat before the ball was thrown, and then Phil still threw it. And then that last play he had all day, so I don't want to hear anything. But again, most fans are going to blame everybody else. That's how it goes. Like, I'm just starting to realize all these fans sound like Skip Bayless talking about Tom Brady. If Fields does anything good, look, see, told you. If he does anything bad, oh my God, it's everybody else's fault. And we know that this is not the roster. This is not the roster you're going to win with. And we hope to see a lot of improvement, but, there's just some people that won't criticize Fields for anything. And that's, that is what it is. We'll be seeing next year. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, he had some chances to make throws against the pass rush. We've seen, I mean, at least to me, anybody that knows him as a prospect coming out, his deep ball accuracy was one of the best things about him. I've been more shocked at those throws where he's off on the deep ball than when he, places it right in the basket. But a chance for him to do that and just kind of create some confidence doing that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Bears overall, I think we play pretty clean. And so the defense is another example today where we didn't beat ourselves and we made the Packers beat us. The defense, even with the backups, were communicating really well, not giving up coverage bust for big plays and not committing a lot of penalties. I mean, it was really not a lot of penalties in the game because the first half there was no penalties, but still just those smart things where we're not shooting ourselves in the foot. And the same thing on offense for the most part into the second half. So it was a weird game, man. We know that the Packers aren't that Packers that they used to be, especially we've been watching them this season. And I've called them broken since week 6, but it's just weird to watch, man. Especially with so much defensive talent, for them to just come out and just make mistakes and just to look the way they did. And then offense, we know they don't have Devontae Adams, and they missing some offensive linemen, but still it's just weird to see them miss some routine plays and just take so long to really do anything because they didn't seem like a threat, especially vertically. But at the end of the day, they were able to pull out the victory, large part because of what we did with the defense finally having a mental lapse on the jet sweep. That was just terrible because Sammy Watkins blocked the person that was in motion with Christian Watson. But Sammy Watkins' corner was standing right there and didn't even know what to do. And so he just took himself out of the play. So that was a mental lapse, and that kind of, made it a game. But then the interceptions kind of sealed it too. So we played clean. We played hard. I think, and a lot of other people think, every reason to lay down, but they came out and played. But I knew that about this team. I didn't really need to find that out today, but they came out and played hard. And so I respect that. It says a lot about what the staff is establishing here. I mean, kinda. I don't know. Everybody says that. I won't say that 100%. I do think the coaching has had an impact, but at the same time, you have a really desperate roster full of people who will not get a chance anywhere else. So I think that's a big part of it too. So we'll see once we get some talent, some first round picks, some high free agents. We'll see if they all still buy in and want to play hard. But I know I'm going to forget something. It was probably some other stuff I want to talk about. But, yeah, I do think this is a big boost for us in terms of what we can do going forward. It doesn't really matter to me what position we get, if we trade the pick, if we don't. You just have way more options being higher in the draft. And, again, it's so clustered right now that we wouldn't go from 2 to 3. We'd probably go from like 2 to 7. And so I think going into the bye, getting healthy, Philly and Buffalo, a huge test. We could, come out of this looking like we're going to be locked into the top 5, and I think we'll just be better for that. So anyway, that's it for me. Go down to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.